Sicily definitely has a lot to offer as a holiday destination. An incredible history, rocky and sandy beaches, delicious food, and super friendly people. With so much to explore, it's difficult to choose where to go if you have just 1 week to spend there. So we decided to focus our visit in the west part, starting in the vibrant and cultural capital city of Palermo, followed by Trapani and the Egadi Islands with its crystal clear waters and the medieval village of Ferice. Then Agrigento and its Valley of the Temples, which is one of the largest and most important archaeological sites in the Mediterranean, and ended our trip in Cefalù, one of Sicily's biggest tourist destinations. We find that guided tours, in a short amount of time, provide great cultural and architectural insights of cities with such rich history. And that is exactly how we chose to learn about the Arabic origins of Palermo, with a guided visit to the famous street food markets, which are reminiscent of Arab souks. This is the Capo Market. Although smaller than I expected, the abundance and variety of food, the smell of fresh vegetables, and the atmosphere impressed us since we stepped in this place. Palermo's street food is amazing and totally justified their international fame. It was the first time we tried the popular fried rice balls called arancina, and it was awesome. We could certainly spend the whole day eating and drinking here, but we had a lot more to explore. After a short walk, we reached the Palermo Cathedral, an immense religious site built in the Arab Norman style that has served as a Christian basilica, then transformed by the Saracens into a mosque, and then converted back to Christian worship by the Normans more than 1,000 years ago. Still in the same region, we visited the Royal Palace. Built by the Normans after their invasion in 1072, and it is the oldest royal residence in Europe. Inside the palace, the most interesting was the Cappella Palatina, built in a mix of Arab, Norman, and Byzantine styles with these wonderful golden mosaics all over it. It was pleasant to finish our tour with a walk in the streets of the old town of Palermo. We expected Palermo to be a chaotic place, but it's not. It is really nice. And a nice and warm day like this had to end with a pistachio gelato. The next day, we drove an hour west of Palermo to visit the Zingaro Nature Reserve. The park is known for its colorful pebble-filled beaches and rocky cliffs that drop dramatically into the Mediterranean Sea. It is widely regarded as one of the most beautiful stretches of coastline in western Sicily, and indeed it didn't disappoint. However, you have to earn it.
6 kilometers.
Let's go. The only way to reach these wonderful colorful beaches is by hiking up and down the rocky path along the coast. But once you get to the water, you are totally rewarded. Right next to the Zingaro Park is the fascinating little village of Scopello, with its rocky and craggy coastline, where in a small bay amongst all this beauty sits the Tonara, a tuna fishery dating back to the 13th century, which remained in operation using traditional techniques brought by the Arabs until 1994. Today, the main building where the tuna was processed, canned, and made ready for distribution now hosts a small museum and a bed and breakfast. Entrance is not free if you are not a guest of the hotel, but in our opinion, was truly worth it to learn about the history of this place and enjoy snorkeling with the fishes in such crystal clear waters. After couple of days in Palermo, we drove to Trapani region and spent the evening exploring Erice, a walled medieval town built on top of a mountain offering amazing views of the sea and surrounding valleys. The town itself is very charming and well preserved, with several bars, restaurants and a really nice castle. We took advantage of the fresher temperature up there and explored all corners of the town. Erice is also well known for its pastries and other treats. We can totally confirm that after indulging ourselves with an amazing dinner that finished in one of the most traditional local pasticceria and a classic Sicilian cannoli as a dessert. The heatwave really hit us hard this week, so we skipped Trapani and took the hydrofoil to the Egadi Islands. The three islands form an amazing rock set within Europe's biggest marine reserve. And there, we found a culture that still reflects the ancient tradition of living off the bounty of the sea and a feeling of being really remote, in a place where sense of time feels quite slower. We rented a boat in Levanzo, the smallest of the three islands, and spent the day swimming and relaxing at the many beaches and coves we found around it. It was a great day, with very few people around, the clean and warm waters shifting colors with the clouds, and the fishes putting a show for us every time we went for a dive. Back to our hotel, we had a private dinner waiting for us in the garden, prepared with fresh fish, locally grown ingredients, and a lot of good cooking skills. It was special, as the occasion required. We were celebrating our 5th anniversary together, and that is a day to remember. Ready to learn something about the Greek heritage in Sicily, we headed to Agrigento, where the Valley of the Temples is located. Regarded as the most enchanting archaeological site in all of Sicily, the highlights include the Temple of Hera on the eastern side of the park, and the Temple of Concordia, which is perched on a ridge and once served as a beacon for sailors out at sea. The Temple of Concordia is considered the best preserved Doric temple in the world, and during some time, the building was even used as a Christian church. Enlightened by some ancient Greek history and scorched by the sun and 40 degrees Celsius, we were ready for a refreshing dip at the sea. And as the sunset was approaching, we took a walk by the beach all the way to the Scala dei Turchi, a limestone white cliff overlooking the sea along the coast of Real Monte in the Agrigento area. I don't know why this place is famous, but people really like to gather around here for sunset and have a drink. For the last 2 days of our holidays, we drove across Sicily to the small but famous city of Cefalù, which offers a great deal of sandy beaches, medieval streets, bars, and excellent restaurants. The Cefalù beach offers a splendid view of the fortress, the cathedral, and the old port. And in contrast to what we had experienced so far, the beach was packed with umbrellas and tourists, but mostly Italians, which is what we observed in other regions as well. In the evening, as we walked through the streets of the old town, the city revealed its charms. Despite the crowds, it wasn't hectic. The atmosphere was pleasant and slow, with people enjoying the moment and the colors of the sunset providing the ideal scenario for the end of an amazing vacation.